Hey guys, welcome to another Memory Monday. Today we're going to learn one of the great stories to tell in small groups and with strangers and airplanes. Just a lot of really good things in this story. So join us as we learn the story of blind Bartimaeus. Hey guys, today we're going to learn the story of blind Bartimaeus, or at least I'm going to show you how to learn it. Now, there's some basics, and we've talked about those before. When I'm learning a story, I read it out loud to myself. I close my Bible or my app. A lot of times I do this on the phone, or I stop recording because many times I will read this story out loud onto my phone and then listen to it because I'm trying to force myself to be more of an audible or oral learner. However, when I am preparing a story and I'm getting ready to learn it, one of the things that I typically do, even before I read it out loud, is I look at things that I might need to change after I go through it that first time. Here's our story that we're going to learn today, or begin to learn today. Now they came to Jericho. As he went out of Jericho with his disciples and a great multitude, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, sat by the road begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out and say, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." Then many warned him to be quiet. But he cried out all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." So Jesus stood still and commanded him to be called. Then they called the blind man, saying to him, "Be of good cheer, rise, he's calling you." And throwing aside his garment, he rose and came to Jesus. So Jesus answered and said to him, "What do you want me to do for you?" The blind man said to him, "Rabboni, that I may receive my sight." Then Jesus said to him, "Go your way, your faith has made you well." And immediately he received his sight, and followed Jesus on the road. Now, even as I've gone through this story the first time, I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, who are they? It says they came to Jericho. So what I would do there is I would look ahead, and I see that he was just with the 12 disciples prior to this, and they were having a little dispute. Now, I'm not doing my introduction yet, but I do, as I change my pronouns, I want to make it more conversational. So now, as Jesus and the disciples came to Jericho, as he went out of Jericho with his disciples, a great multitude, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus. So as I'm learning this story, blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus. Bartimaeus, bar means son of. We see this in other stories. And so it's really unusual as I'm trying to remember the story. So, son of Timaeus, sat by the road begging. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, Bartimaeus began to cry out. So I'm going to add another Bartimaeus there and say, "Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me." And I do want to cry that out. And I might even, as I'm learning the story, put my hand to my mouth, "Son of David." And even as I practice that, as I'm doing it, as I'm learning the story, even before I start practicing actions and expressions, I want to do that in such a way that as I'm preparing to tell the story to somebody else, I'm doing it in a way that my mouth is still able to be seen by those I'm telling the story to. Because if I do this, then it's going to cover them up. So this is even as I'm practicing that action and expression in learning the story, I want to do it in a way that I'm prepared to tell the story that way. And many warned him to be quiet. So many warned him, "Be quiet." I'm a little oomph there. But he cried out even louder, Son of David, have mercy on us. So Jesus stood still. So Jesus stopped and commanded him to be called. I find that interesting. Even as learning that he commanded him to be called. He didn't call him, he commanded him to be called. Then they called the blind man, and we're not real sure who that is, whether that's the multitude or whether it's disciples. So I would probably keep that as they, because I can't find a way to prove to myself confidently who they are. Be of good cheer, rise, he's calling you. Be of good cheer. Is that what you say? Oh, be of good cheer. Now I said, cheer up, get up. He's calling you. Jesus is calling you. And throwing aside his garment, he rose. Bartimaeus rose and came to Jesus. So Jesus answered and said to him, what do you want me to do for you? Which is one of the great questions in all the Bible, like, right? So this guy is, oh yeah, it's you, Jesus. What do you want me to do for you? You know, that's almost a duh question, right? Duh, I want to see. So then Jesus said to him, go your way, your faith. And I want to put a little something in there immediately, right? He received his sight and followed Jesus on the way. So I'm curious, as you're looking and learning stories, this story is in Mark chapter 10, verses 46 through 42. I'm curious, what are some of the things that stand out to you as you're trying to learn this story? I would also love to hear from you. What are some challenges you have? Now, this particular story is very story-ish, right? I mean, you can picture this in your head as you're learning this story. Bartimaeus sitting by the side of the multitude going by him from a sitting position. And we know that from the story, right? And that he, cheer up, get up. So he's sitting there by the side of the road. So placing the characters in your head visually is a large step towards getting the story right. But I would love to hear from you some of the things that helped you to remember the story, but also some of the areas that challenge. Almost every story I have found personally, there's going to be that one part of the story that's going to be harder for me to remember, and I need to put an action or an expression there to help me to remember that part, not just in the telling, but in the remembering. So if you've not signed up for subscribe to our channel yet, I sure would appreciate it. We're building up a little bit at a time. I'm still not a YouTube influencer, and that's okay. Not one of my goals. But I would love to hear some of the things that helped you to remember the story and some of the challenges that maybe you have. So, until the next time, keep on telling those Bible stories.